Hi there, class. So today we are still going to be doing more two-step equations, but we are going to throw in some translating, so looking at some sentences and then creating the two-step equation from it, and then also some word problems, okay? So first let's translate. This is the same as integers, okay? So whenever you guys had to do the expressions in translating, it's the same exact thing, but now we're going to try to set up two-step equations with it, okay? So the first one, 7 more than 3 times a number is 16, okay? So important words here, more than. Hopefully you guys know that that is addition. 3 times a number. So here's our variable where it says number. So it's going to be 3 times that, or just 3x. And don't forget about the 7 here. And then this word is your equal sign, and then is 16. So 7 more than 3 times the number is 16 is what we just wrote here. So 7 plus 3x equals 16. All right, so let's try the next one. 7 more than, that's addition again, the quotient. So the quotient means division here. So the quotient of a number and negative 2, which means x divided by negative 2, is, that's our equals, 6. So 7 more than, that's addition. Quotient is division of a number and negative 2, so that's x over negative 2 is equal to 6. So put that together. I'll do it over here. 7 plus x over negative 2 equals 6. All right, next one, 6 more than. There's a lot of more thans on here. So 6 more than, twice a number. So where the number is, this is our variable, and if we want twice that, it's just going to be 2 times that. So twice the number represents 2x, and then is 20 is your equals 20. So your answer here is 6 plus 2x equals 20. All right, next one. 2 less than 5 times the number is equal to 8. If you guys remember that word less than, you have to think the opposite, okay? Because it's going to be 2 less than this. So I need to flip-flop these to where it's 5 times a number minus the 2. So 5 times a number is just going to be 5x. Less than 2, so minus 2, is equal to 8. So 5x minus 2 equals 8. Next one here, twice a number plus 5 is negative 3. So again, twice a number, that means that you're taking a number times 2. So 2x plus 5 is negative 3. All right, let's do one more here, and then we'll move on to word problems because that's what I want to focus on. So the product is multiplication. Okay, so the product is multiplication. So product of a number and 3, so in other words, that's just going to be 3x plus 1 is 19. So 3x plus 1 equals 19. All right, so real simple and basic, okay, just look for keywords, look for where they're telling you where to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Your is the keyword for your equal sign, and then just put it all together. So that's translating, okay? Now onto the word problems. So you guys will have a word problem, and we are going to set up an equation and then solve it. So the first one, Carlos is building a screen door. The height of the door is 1 foot more than, there's that word more than again, twice its width. what is the width of the door if it is 7 feet high? So we are translating this, that's why we just worked on translating. We are translating this into a two-step equation and then solving it. So 1 foot more than twice its width. So remember, twice its width, since we're trying to find the width of the door, this is going to be our variable, and it's going to be twice that. So I'm going to use W for width. You can use X, you can really use any variable that you want, but since it's the width, I'm just going to use W. So twice the width, more than, so plus 1, and then is 7. So there's our equals right there, is 7. Alright, so after you translated it, now you can just solve it like normal, like a normal two-step equation. So always start with addition, subtraction. So since we're adding 1 and we want to move it over to the other side, the opposite of adding 1 is to subtract 1. Your plus 1 minus 1 will cancel. You're just going to be left with 2W. And then 7 minus 1 is 6. We still need to get W by itself, so we need to move this 2 over to the other side. Right now the 2 and the W are multiplying, so the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So now we're left with W equals, oh, sorry, my lights just went out. W equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that is our answer. But since this is a word problem, we need a label. So what are we trying to find? The width of the door. So we can just put, since we're talking about feet here, it's going to be 3 feet. And I did run out of room to check it, but let's just do it in our head real fast. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7, so we know we did it correctly. Alright, number 2, a rectangle has a width of 6 inches and a perimeter of 26. What is the length of the rectangle? So, if I were to draw my rectangle here, it's telling me that we have a width of 6, and then the perimeter is 26. So if you guys remember, if you're trying to find the perimeter of a rectangle, you're just adding up all the sides, and it should equal the 26 here. So if they told us that the width is 6, that means that this side is also 6. And we're trying to find the length. So the lengths here, this is an L, is what we're trying to find. Okay? So one of two ways you can do this. You could just write down the L plus 6 plus L plus 6 equals 26. But then that would be a multi-step equation, and we're trying to just write a two-step equation. So looking at our L's, we have 2 L's here. So it would be 2 times L plus, we can add our 6's together, so 6 plus 6 is 12. And it should equal our perimeter of 26. So again, you could have written it as 6 plus L plus 6 plus L equals 26, but you would have to combine like terms anyways. So our L plus L gives us our 2L, and our 6 plus 6 gives us 12. So essentially, we're just coming right back to our two-step equation down here, okay? All right, so two-step equation. We want to isolate the L, so all of these other numbers need to go over to the other side. Always start with whatever's adding or subtracting. So since this is adding 12, the opposite of adding is to subtract it. We're left with 2L equals 26 minus 12 is 14. Last step is to divide by 2 on both sides. And 14 divided by 2 is 7. And we're talking about inches here, so it's going to be 7 inches. Alright, again, ran out of room to check it, so just do it in your head real fast. So 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 12 is 26, so we know we did it correctly. Alright, let's try 2 more here. So number 3, Ella swims 4 times a week at her club's pool. She swims the same number of laps on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and 15 laps on Saturday. She swims a total of 51 laps each week. How many laps does she swim on Monday? So hopefully you guys know the total. That's going to be our equals part, so it is going to equal 51. They told us how many laps she swims on Saturday, so that's going to be our constant. So it is going to be the plus 15 laps on Saturday. And we're just trying to figure out the laps that she spends on Monday. And they only told us that she spends the same number of laps on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, how many days do we have here? We have 3 days, and we're looking to find out how many laps does she swim on each day. So our variable here is going to be the 3 times x, because it's going to be 3 times per day, and we're just trying to figure out that one day that she does, or how many laps does she swim on that one day on Monday. Okay, so here's our equation. Hopefully you guys feel comfortable with 2-step equations by now. So we need to move this plus 15 over to the other side. Opposite of adding it is to subtract it. We're left with 3x equals 51 minus 15. Do some quick math here. 36. Then get x by itself, we need to divide by 3 on both sides. And we get x equals 12. And we're talking about laps, so it's going to be 12 laps. Alright, and then again, just go back and double check it. So 3 times 12 is 36. 36 plus 15 does give us that 51, so we know we did it correctly. Alright, last one here. Well, at the music store, Drew bought 5 CDs all at the same price. The tax on his purchase was $6 and the total was $61. What was the price of each CD? So I like to start with the total because it's always the easiest to figure out what it is. So our total here is 61. So in our equation, it's supposed to equal 61. When you put tax on something, that's a constant. So it's going to be however much the CDs were plus tax. So tax was $6. And if he bought 5 CDs and we're trying to figure out one of them, we're just going to take our 5 times x here. Alright, and then solve it like normal. So subtract 6 on both sides. We get 5x equals, again, quick math, 55. To get x by itself, you're going to divide by 5 on both sides. And we're left with x equals 11. And we're talking about price, so it's going to be $11. Go back and double check. So 5 times 11 is 55. 55 plus 6 is 61. So we know we did it correctly. So translating helped us set up our word problems here because we looked for keywords, we looked for what the equal was, and then after you set it up, hopefully it's easy to just go ahead and solve it because we've been working on equations for a little while now. But again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me. But if you guys feel comfortable to go ahead and do your homework, then you may do so. Have a great rest of your day.